Hello from Tirana, Albania. Today I'm getting ready to take you up and show you the apartment that I live in. But I wanted to give you an example of what it's like around the neighborhood I live in and show you the Lana River. And yes, that really is a river. Kind of reminds me of LA, except on a much smaller scale. Although the smell is just as pleasant. Anyway, I want to show you the area around where I'm living because it's really pretty cool. It's filled with coffee shops and bars and all kinds of little restaurants. It's a really nice area. It's right off of what they call Ruga Kavaha. Probably butchering the name of the sound of that. They have this nice little bridge that goes across the river, and I'll show you what the red light looks like, which is kind of unique here in Albania for the crossing. Well, you might be able to catch that from behind me. I don't know. Don't know if you were able to see that or not. So this place is cool, filled with all kinds of little water parks, water fountains. Really aesthetically pleasing. We'll kind of zigzag through it on the way up to the flat that I'm staying at. Weaving for all the different people that are here. Trying not to get hit by the traffic as we go. So this little area coming up to the apartment is like a really cool little kids park. It's in the middle of the day, so nobody's really here right now. You might have seen in the background that that's the Conad grocery store. We'll get through this area. Everybody's looking at the crazy American who's talking to his camera, trying to figure out what in the world you're doing. So this little market is right behind where I live. It's an Italian grocery store. It's really overpriced. Really, you pay Western prices here. You see it as we pass by it. That's the outdoor portion of the market. It gets inside, kind of like a mini Western grocery store like you'd see in the United States. But here's these other fountains that I was telling you about. They're all over this area. See if you can get a glimpse of them. Just like really well landscaped, really nice. We got all these coffee shops over there. And I've been told, I don't know if it's true, but Tirana apparently has more coffee shops per person than any place in the entire world. And from what I've seen, I believe it. Really big coffee culture. People sit out with their friends, drinking the coffee during the day, hour at a time. Usually get like a little espresso with a water and just chit chat the day away. The espresso or the coffee that they have kind of, I would say it's halfway between what I would call a Italian espresso and maybe Turkish coffee. It's really the best way I know to explain it. It's okay, it's very bitter. And this is Ruga Kavaha, which is one of the main roads leading down into the city. It's where I live, at least here for starting out. place I got is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-balcony. It's a pretty nice place. Got a real good deal on it. A lot of people would consider it very expensive for Albanian costs, but I see it as being kind of low. Again, more of the coffee shops, restaurants. And this is my building here, right across from the Globe Center and the Genius Lab, which is really easy to find. You can tell any taxi driver in the city those 2 points are locations and they can get you to it. So go up here to my apartment, which is on the 9th floor. Gets pretty dark in here. Hope you can still see it. Got my Harry Potter key to get in. So when you come in, you got to turn the lights on, and then you got the elevator with a key fob. And my Albanian elevator. Kind of small, kind of cozy, kind of run down. Elevator's kind of slow. Not really sure when this building was built. If I had to guess, the buildings around us are more modern, and I would say they are 10 to 15 years old, whereas this building's kind of unique in this area. And my guess would be this was built during the communist era and probably back in the 70s, maybe the early 70s. I don't know. Somebody else more familiar with Albanian architecture could probably tell you. So, landing on the 9th floor where my flat is. Thank God we had a lift in it, because I didn't even think to ask when we got here. Found out later a lot of places don't have that. And the doors here are really kind of unique. Didn't ever see anything like this when I was living in London. Didn't see anything like this really anywhere else in the world. So here we are. We'll go in, don't know if you can still see or not, and do the room tour. This is the 2-bedroom. As you come in to the apartment and you focus back over here, you're going to see lots of storage space. One weird thing about this apartment, and I don't know when it was built, but you've got these electrical cords that come out in every single room. I don't know what they are. My assumption is it's from some sort of prior electrical system that's not compatible with the new one. I don't know. Somebody knows, comment in the comments. You got a phone for downstairs, keyless entry, so if somebody comes in, you can press that, you can get them in. Very, very, very spacious living room. You've got a relatively very small TV, but lots of space in here. This couch, I love this couch. It's very comfortable. 4 people, 5 people can easily sit on this couch without any problems whatsoever. It's really comfortable to sit on, very spacious. Then you have your dining area over here that sits 8 people, more than we would need. And again, just a very large living space. You got the air conditioning unit. Thank God, because it's so friggin' hot outside today. But it's the only air con in the entire unit. So we don't have it back in the bedrooms. The master bedroom really hasn't been a problem because we get a breeze in there with the windows open and a little bit of the air seeping in at night. So really the master bedroom has been about in the 70s, so it hasn't been a problem. The secondary bedroom, once we got into the summer months, in June, it really started getting hot in there, sort of a greenhouse effect. So something to consider. Now moving on, this has a separate kitchen, which you don't see in a lot of these different apartments in Albania. It's small, but it's very functional. Tons of, again, storage space. You got all kinds of dishes, silverware, very, very well equipped for an Airbnb. Better than most of the ones that we have attended in the past. You got a good sized refrigerator with a freezer, very small cook spot. It's got a 4-burner cook spot over there. Microwave, a oven. The knobs are missing, so you have to take that one off to use it. It's really, really tiny. A little bit of counter space. Sink. It does have hot water on it. And this is probably one of the favorite parts of this apartment to me, is that after you move off of the kitchen area, you go out to the first balcony. And it has a really nice sitting area. And you can come out here at night, you can look down, watch people, watch the traffic in the evening, you get a cool breeze coming in. And it's a really good place to spend your evenings. Kind of relaxing. And again, we have a second balcony that has like utilities and for drying and for your clothes and stuff like that. But this one we can just use to lounge around in. It's really nice. Back to the air conditioning. It's so hot today in Albania. All right, so this is a hallway, and it's not that big, but what's nice about this hallway is that once you close the door here, you seal off from the main living area to the bedroom, so you get a little bit of noise discipline, and it cancels out some of the sound. Really helpful in the evening, especially if one person works late at night and they want to be in there, but we still want to be entertained and talk in the bedrooms and so forth. We'll go into the first bedroom, which has 2 twin beds. So 2 elevated twin beds. Lots and lots of storage space. It is like so much storage space, more than you would ever need as a traveler or a nomad on here. We had 2 people in this room. Again, this is really designed for a long-term stay, somebody to live here. Much more than you would need as a nomad, but it's really perfect. Again, because there's no air conditioning in this room, and the balcony you're about to see kind of creates a greenhouse effect in the summers, this one tends to get a lot warmer during the day. So it's not a place you'd want to hang out during the day if you don't have a tolerance to heat. So if we go out to this balcony here, what you're going to see is where we do our laundry. It's got a drying rack. It's the mop area. It's basically where you store all of your cleaning equipment and so forth. Because that is an enclosed balcony and the sun hits it, especially in the mornings and in the early afternoon, you kind of get a greenhouse effect that bleeds over into this room, and it creates a lot of warmth in there. I haven't lived here during winter or in the cold seasons. I would be curious to see how cold this place gets with the 1 unit in there, and then all they have is 1 space heater on top of that. So not sure this is a place I'd want to live in the winter, but in the spring and the fall, it's great. Summer, not as great, but you know, it's still manageable. And finally, well, not finally, we have to move on to the communal bathroom. This one's meant for that bedroom, but also anybody else could use it. Basically, it has a toilet, it has a bidet, it has a cabinet for the shower, and a sink. So what's also important about this bathroom, as well as our other bathroom, is Both of them have individual hot water heaters. That way you have hot water in both of the bathrooms. And in some places, for instance, when we went to Jerez, one of the bathrooms had a hot water heater, the other didn't. So if you need to have hot water, it kind of renders the second bathroom useless. In this case, it didn't. We were able to use both of them, and it worked out really good. So finally, we'll go into the master bedroom. Here, we have a really good sized bed, very spacious rooms, very open, very spacious. Especially considering Albania, where most of the bedrooms, when you go to most of the units, are really about a third of this is cut off in those. You have storage inside the bed. And what's great about this room is you have floor to ceiling storage space. So much more storage space than you would ever need. We had two people, me and my wife, living in here with all of the luggage we take. And again, we are not minimalists. No problem with the storage. So even if you were going to stay here long term as an expat, do a year lease or something, it wouldn't be horrible because you'd have so much storage space. And then finally, we go into the master bathroom where you have a cabinet shower, you have a spin washer machine, you have a sink, and you have a toilet. So that's the 2-bedroom apartment that we had in Tirana. We're about 20 minutes from the city center by walk. By bus, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, depending on traffic on there. Going to the cost, because I'm not sure if I actually talked about the costs on here. Some people would find this very expensive. Again, we found this on Airbnb, not the best way to find a property. But here we paid $608 for the entire month. That's 30 days. I found that to be very, very, very inexpensive. Now, can you get a place cheaper than that? If you're going to do a long-term lease, 6 months, 1 year, really 1 year in Albania, yeah, absolutely, you could. But for $608, we got all this spacious place. We got the utilities included, lightning fast internet. So the Wi-Fi here was incredible. If you plugged into the Ethernet, it was even more so. It was 100 Mbps down, 100 up. It was some of the fastest internet, more so than I've even had in the United States. So there is no way that I could ever find a place for $608, utilities all in, 2-bedroom, inside the United States. So I find this to be a good value. Can it be cheaper? Yeah, if you're willing to stay long term, but as a nomad, I find this to be an excellent price on there. The only downside that I had to this entire complex is because of the age of the building. And I would say that if I had to guess, this building was built back in the 1970s during the communist era, and it's really not that well insulated as far as noise and sound goes. So in the middle of the night, we would hear people talking upstairs, downstairs, next door. With the TV in the evenings, we felt that we had to practice noise discipline, so we didn't annoy or upset the neighbors on there. So really wasn't very good and soundproof. I went to a new unit across the street from here in a much newer building where it was much more insulated, looking at a long-term lease. And literally the landlord could go out in the hall, he could scream and yell, and we couldn't hear him inside. So that's really the only drawback that we had here. Other than that, it's a great place. We enjoyed the stay. Hope this was helpful to you. Hope it was informative. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next video.